Rebel Moon takes place in a world where peace and prosperity existed over thousands of years, with a lineage of rulers reigning over their home, the Motherworld, with controlled ambitions and greed. But the lust for power gradually took over. The king and his royal family wanted to yield power over everything around them. Greed got the better of them as they captured their entire planet to then invade other worlds in the vast open space around them. This led to years of war and strife as less powerful planets and communities on them were ripped apart by the imperial forces of the realm. But the situation drastically changed when an assassin managed to get close to the royal family and kill the king and the queen, bringing an end to the cruel monarchy. However, the threat of more violence and war loomed large, as planets once conquered by the realm now wanted to fight for their independence by staging revolutions. Amidst such a tense scenario, a powerful senator named Belisarius seized control of the tumultuous Motherworld and declared himself the regent, the ruler of the realm. While the last king and his family apparently wished to end warfare, Belisarius completely changed the realm's stance as he continued to invade other planets and bring them under his rule in a very personal drive for power. As part of his invasion into space, he sends his most trusted military leader, Atticus Noble, to a small village on a distant planet named Veldt. While Noble's mission is to bring the planet under the realm's control, he is also to first investigate leads on siblings Darian and Devra, who are leaders of the clan Bloodaxe, a powerful rebel force in this part of space. Down on Veldt, a woman named Kora lives and works with the villagers after she was found at a crash site a few years ago. When Noble arrives at the place and claims that the villagers must give his soldiers all food, grains, and supplies, Kora is noticeably fearful of being seen. Noble eventually kills the leader of the village and takes over control of the place, and Kora prepares to flee. However, upon seeing the soldiers harass a young woman, she cannot help but step in, and together with a friendly soldier and an old robotic knight Jimmy, she kills all the enemies at the place. However, this is sure to bring down the wrath of the Motherworld realm on the villagers of Veldt, and Kora decides to gather a team of warriors to protect the planet before this attack. On her travels across the many planets, Kora is accompanied by a farmer named Gunnar, for the man had earlier made contacts with a Bloodaxe rebel group. While the leader of the Veldt village was against selling off their produce for money, Gunnar always felt that they had enough surplus for trade, and so he had earlier sold crops to the Bloodaxe group. Since getting aid from the most prominent rebel group would be very necessary in their fight against Noble's army, Kora takes Gunnar along, hoping to get in touch with the group. The two first go over to the port town of Providence on their home planet Veldt and try to look for the contact that Gunnar earlier used. But since this man has been caught by the authorities, they have to look for some other source, and in the process, a gunfight ensues. A man named Kai, who is a mercenary by profession, helps Kora out and also offers them a ride to the planet of Pollux, where the rebels are known to be active. From here on, Kora and her group travel through space on Kai's starship, and the man agrees to fight with them. Next, on the planet of New Wodi, the group comes across a blacksmith named Tarak, who is held captive because of some petty crimes he has committed. Tarak, who was once a royal prince, is dedicated to his fight against the imperial regime, and so he would be a great fit for the team. Kora negotiates a deal with the locals to free Tarak and take him along if he can master a dangerous beast recently captured by the locals. The young man is now revealed to be able to compassionately communicate with beasts, and once he is able to tame the animal, even riding on its back as it stretches its wings to fly around, Tarak becomes a recruit in Kora's group of warriors. The group's next destination is the cobalt mining planet of Dagus, which is a highly industrial metropolis with all the futuristic resemblances of such fictional cities. Kora is here for a skilled swordfighter known as Nemesis, who has to fight off a humanoid spider that has taken a child hostage. Although Nemesis defeats the creature, she cannot be too happy with the result since the beast's fight was in protest against the heavy mining activities on the planet that have led to the destruction of the natural ecosystem. Nemesis intends to fight the humans responsible for this destruction, and so she joins Kora's band of warriors. It is later also revealed that Nemesis had earlier waged conflicts against the Motherworld in order to avenge the deaths of young children killed by the realm. Landing on the moon of Pollux, the group eventually finds the general they had been looking for, named Titus. Although Titus was once a brave and illustrious general under the king's rule, he switched sides when the devilish Belisarius took over. The man had lost purpose in life after a few defeats, and he lives as a lowly drunkard around the gladiator arena on the moon. Titus is initially very reluctant to join the team, as he no longer wants any fights, but Kora's promise of being able to take revenge against Belisarius convinces Titus, and he too joins the group. Finally, with the whole team ready, Kora reaches the planet of Charon, where she meets with a Blood Axe rebel group. One of the leaders, Darien, decides to join Kora's fight, and he brings along a small group of his best soldiers and also his most trusted fighter, Milius. Before the group returns to Veldt to train for their big fight, Kai states that he has to stop at a planet in order to deliver some goods on his starship. Kora does not find this unnatural or have any suspicions until she spots the same alien that she had earlier seen during the bar fight in Providence. But it is too late for her to take any action, and Kai's evil plans are revealed. The mercenary had never wanted to help Kora in her fight, but had always wanted to make use of her to earn money from Admiral Noble. He had identified Kora as a former soldier in the Imperium Guard, and also realized that the woman was a fugitive wanted by the realm. It was for this reason that he had befriended her and offered her a ride on his starship, but his plans expanded when he heard of her mission to gather warriors. Kai knew that every warrior that Kora would gather for her team would be a rebel and fighter wanted by the regime, and so with every individual he could hand over to the authorities, the amount of money he would receive would greatly go up. In essence, Kai was still working as a bounty hunter during all this time, as he contacted Noble during the journey and informed him of his collection. Therefore, now on this planet, the military leader comes prepared with his army and stages an immense attack on Kora and the other rebels. The Blood Axe leader Darien is also a prized catch for Noble, and so Kai changes sides completely and attempts to get Kora killed. Kai reveals that his planet had also been destroyed by the realm, but unlike the others who were made vengeful by this experience, his own childhood memories had made Kai believe that he needed to choose sides carefully. Therefore, the man had decided to side with Noble and his army rather than fight against them and be killed or captured. However, the simple but loyal farmer Gunnar now steps up and bravely manages to free Kora while also stabbing and killing Kai. This leads to a great fight between the two sides, as the two quickly free the other warriors and they all join in the battle. The biggest loss is that of Darien, who is angered by his soldiers getting shot at by a warship and attacks it by himself. Although Darien is able to defeat the spaceship, he gets shot and killed in the process, with Kora losing a very important fighter on her side. Following this narrow escape from death, Kora returns to the village on Veldt that she now admits to being her home, along with Gunnar, Titus, Tarak, Nemesis, and Milius, who is the only surviving Blood Axe member. The objective of the group now is to train for their big fight, which is drawing nearer every day. Over different scenes in Rebel Moon Part 1, Kora reveals her real identity, as she was once a sworn soldier in the Imperium army, while the king was still the ruler of the realm. Kora's planet had been targeted by the realm when she was just 9 years old, and Belisarius was the one who led the invasion at the place. After her parents and friends were all killed, the young girl was taken by Belisarius, who raised her as a soldier of the realm's Imperium army. Kora's given name was Arthelay, and she quickly advanced through the ranks of the army after successfully leading groups into battles. After some time, she was given the opportunity to serve the royal family directly, and the woman became a bodyguard to the king's daughter, Princess Issa. It was during this time that Kora came across the mysterious and unexplainable powers of Issa. Much like the mythical figure after whom she was named, little Issa was able to resurrect dead beings and bring them back to life. Kora had witnessed this power when the princess revived a dead bird back to life, but she could do nothing when the girl and her parents were killed only some time later. The turnover of power as Belisarius took control of the realm did not sit well with Kora, and it was then that she deserted the Imperium army and took shelter in the village in Veldt. It is also revealed at the very end of Rebel Moon that Kora was like a daughter to Regent Belisarius, and it was for this reason that she had the biggest bounty on her head among every other warrior captured. Belisarius wants to reunite with his adopted daughter, and so he is ready to pay any amount of money to bring her back to him. However, Kora chooses to remain in Veldt and fight against the Imperial power together with her warrior friends. In the fight that followed Kai's betrayal, Kora successfully fights off Noble, stabbing him fatally, and then also pushes him down from the structure on which the fight took place. This ensured that Noble was dead, both from the injury and the result of the fall, but the man's body was soon taken away by a spaceship from his fleet. The body is taken back to the King's Gaze, which is Noble's technologically advanced starship, and a mysterious operation is performed on the dead body by some technicians. In an earlier scene in the film, Noble was shown inserting some liquids in his body and also being surrounded and somewhat pleasured by cables. Now it is revealed that the man had mechanical parts in his body too, as his skin is ripped open to reveal robotic slots inside. He is powered up by a cable inserted into the slot, and Noble is seen in some other plane of reality, where he meets with his leader, Regent Belisarius. It is here that the ruler gives his admiral the order to defeat the rebels and capture Kora alive to bring her back to him. This other plane with a bluish hue all around itself is still kept a mystery, as it is not clear as to whether this is some other reality or a kind of digital space used for people separated by light years of distance to meet with each other. Both seem a possibility, and more will surely be revealed in the sequel. During Rebel Moon Part 1's ending, Atticus Noble is brought back to life after he is dismissed from the plane by Belisarius, suggesting that the Admiral is perhaps not entirely human. Much of the mystery in the first Rebel Moon film is kept unsolved, as it heavily sets up the base for the sequel that is to come in April of 2024. Firstly, more about the mysterious plane at the end of A Child of Fire remains to be seen, as both the possibilities mentioned earlier can be true. But why exactly Belisarius exists in a digital realm remains to be answered, posing the question of whether he is still alive and whether Kora might have played any role in his demise. After all, the exact reason as to why Kora is such a highly wanted fugitive is also not clear, and more about her past will surely be revealed. Lastly, the powers of Princess Issa will also definitely tie in with the plot of Rebel Moon, and how this would happen will be seen in the sequel. Along with these more general unanswered questions, the first film also shows the robot Jimmy, now wearing antlers and carrying a stick back at the village in Veldt. The robot, which is supposed to be non-violent and actionless, had already killed an evil soldier earlier, and his appearance now might suggest that he too will join in Kora's fight against the Imperial forces next year.